Where Bruce Willis lives today at 67 is sad to see. Cory Booker, New Jersey, $435,000. When we think of politicians, we immediately think of huge mansions, flashy cars, and other flashy things. Let's just say they're not all the same. While some politicians are surrounded by luxury, others choose to conduct things in a more modest manner. Take, for example, U.S. Senator Cory Booker. The guy chose a simple way of life, and his home is the best expression of that decision. Booker's home is 2,818 square feet in size and is situated in New Jersey. The lawmaker purchased the home in 2011, and it's believed to be worth $435,000. Al Gore, Nashville, undisclosed. It would be difficult for someone to even come close to Al Gore's tremendous credentials. He was the 45th Vice President of the United States of America, as well as a well-known author, environmental activist, and Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Furthermore, the lawmaker had a gorgeous house in Nashville. Gore has a lovely home that spans 10,000 square feet and is impressive from above. The property is surrounded by vegetation, so it's understandable that an environmental enthusiast would prefer to live there. The mansion's quite large with over 20 rooms. Bob Barker, Los Angeles, $138,000. Bob Barker's meteoric climb in show business was pretty epic considering how quickly he rose to the top. We lost him earlier this year, but he was living his life to the fullest with a personal wealth of roughly $70 million. Barker lived big, and his mansion lives up to the star's expectations. His LA residence, on the other hand, remains a mystery even to his devotees. Barker enjoyed a low-key lifestyle when he wasn't in front of the cameras and maintained a low profile behind the scenes. As a result, little is known about the home, but we'll be the first to know if an opportunity emerges. John Kerry, Chilmark, $11.5 million. When it comes to housing, everyone has various preferences. While some want to live in the center of a big metropolis with an active lifestyle, others prefer to live someplace tranquil and serene, away from the noise and bustle of congested cities. Former United States Secretary of State John Kerry has chosen a tranquil existence. Kerry spent a total of $11.5 million for his Chilmark house, and we can't complain since it's stunning. In exchange, he received 18.5 acres of property on Martha's Vineyard. A home facing the sea rises towering on the ground. The home, which was erected in 1924, has 7 bedrooms. Kamala Harris, Washington, D.C., undisclosed price. With Kamala Harris beginning her time as Vice President of the United States, she originally had a temporary house awaiting the complete renovation of the United States Naval Observatory, which serves as the residence for every vice president. The Blair home, also known as the President's Guest Home, served as a temporary residence for the VP and her husband, Doug Emhoff. It's on Pennsylvania Avenue, immediately across the street from the White House, and contains 14 bedrooms and 35 baths on over 61,000 square feet of ground. You may claim it's bigger than the White House, because it is. Dick Cheney, Maryland, $2.5 million. Dick Cheney was the previous Vice President of the United States until stepping down when Barack Obama took office in 2009. 10 years later, Cheney was forced to leave another white mansion in Maryland, which he sold for $2.5 million, which was somewhat less than the sum he paid for it. The Maryland home has 3 bedrooms and 3 baths and sits on 9 acres of property. The guest house also has a bedroom and a bathroom. We don't know why Cheney sold this house, but we hope it was the correct move for him. Alexandria Cortez, Westchester County, $355,000. Alexandria Cortez is a prominent member of the U.S. House of Representatives who represents New York's 14th Congressional District. During her candidacy for this post, she said that she was from the Bronx, but she subsequently chastised once it was revealed she really lived in Yorktown. One clear item that had remained in Alexandria's life was her childhood home, which her father had purchased for $150,000 when she was just 2 years old, but had subsequently sold for $355,000 after her family had left. Cortez, on the other hand, had been continuously successful throughout the years. Stacy Abrams, Atlanta, undisclosed price. If you want to comprehend the textbook definition of gorgeousness, go visit Stacy Abrams' Atlanta home. The front lawn has to be the finest place to soak up the rays on a warm day or unwind on a quiet evening. Despite its proximity to the freeway, the building offers a very calm setting for entertaining friends and family. The inside of the property, as well as its worth, are unknown, but we feel that based on the outside images alone, the residence and its architectural style are exceptional. Kisa Rice, Palo Alto, $2.3 million. Kisa Rice has multiple homes, but this Palo Alto home is distinguished for its minimalism and simplicity. The single-story home, built in the 1930s, has a vintage feel to it, and what it lacks in space is made up for by absolute coziness. The first thing you'll notice about this home is the lovely front yard and well-kept grounds. The home has 2 bedrooms, a fireplace, and a formal dining room on the inside. Furthermore, the whole floor is dazzling hardwood, making it the perfect setting, particularly in the winter. This is an excellent deal for a little more than $2 million. Gabrielle Giffords, Tucson, $1.5 million. Gabrielle, or Gabby Gifford, has spent her life exactly as she wanted. She's a former American politician who devoted her career to pushing for beliefs. After putting in so much effort, the lady is now enjoying a happy and quiet life in Tucson with her spouse in a lovely home. Her lovely ranch home is in the El Encanto area. It's a very spacious home, constructed on a 4,500 square foot lot, so the couple won't feel cramped if their family and friends come to visit. The house has 11 big rooms, as well as a pool. The mansion cost $1.5 million with all of its features. Hillary Clinton, Washington, D.C., $5.57 million. The Clinton family is one of America's political dynasties, having been involved in politics for many decades and produced one president. Their residence in Washington, D.C. is equally prestigious. It left Hillary stunned at first sight and resulted in a $5.57 million payment. The neo-Georgian and red brick property, dubbed Whitehaven, lies on 5,500 square feet of land and has a gorgeous swimming pool and a house design influenced by some of the world's most prominent designers. The vibrant carpets and Italian lamps placed are all one-of-a-kind handmade treasures. Despite not being engaged in politics, the Clintons are nonetheless having a busy life. Jane Fonda, Beverly Hills, $13 million. Jane Fonda is a well-known Hollywood actress who's made a name for herself in the health and fitness business. This has increased her net worth to the millions, allowing the actress and her boyfriend to purchase this magnificent mansion for around $13 million in a quiet and idyllic Beverly Hills area. The spectacular mansion has 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a swimming pool, a gym, and a garden with a fountain, all of which are topped with stunning canyon and ocean views. Without a question, Fonda is living like the queen she is. Boris Johnson, London, $6.5 million. It's difficult to discuss British politics without mentioning Boris Johnson, one of the country's most well-known politicians. With such a revered name comes an equally revered residence on Downing Street. It's located in one of London's most affluent districts and has an office, a cabinet room, and a white drawing room, making it one of the most photographed homes. His office is furnished with dark wood furnishings and a big mirror with a gold frame, and his cabinet room, where cabinet discussions are held on a weekly basis, has a gorgeously enormous fireplace. Bruce Willis, Los Angeles, $9.8 million. When Bruce Willis announced his retirement from acting in 2022, it was a sad day. He deserves a lot of leisure, health, and pleasure, particularly after dazzling us with amazing performances for 4 decades. He and his wife Emma moved into their new house in Brentwood Park, Los Angeles in 2019, which is ideal for spending quality time with loved ones. When his ex-wife Demi Moore and their 3 children come to visit, they can stay in the 13,048 square foot estate, which has 7 bedrooms, a home theater, a spa, a pool, and a gym. Bruce spent $9.8 million on the stunning property, which has lofty ceilings and twisting stairs. Mike Pence, Washington, D.C., $7.5 million. Mike Pence, a former U.S. vice president, has managed to keep his private life secret, with facts about his residence being scarce. We do know that he's lived at Washington's official vice president house, number 1 Observatory Circle, a sitting room, a dining room, an open kitchen, 4 bedrooms, a reception hall, a study room, several lounges, and a media room are all part of the 3-story home. We're sure Pence will miss this property, which is said to be even better than the White House itself. Machine Gun Kelly, Sherman Oaks, $30,000. Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox's mansion in Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles, will wow you with its astounding features and luxuries that might pass for a luxury hotel. To enter the property, visitors must pass through a 26-foot doorway before being met by an open terrace. There are quarters next to the main dwelling on the 5,300 square feet of ground that this property occupies, ideal for accommodating extended family. The 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom estate also has a jacuzzi, a swimming pool bordered with multiple Baja shelving, and a basketball court. For $30,000 per month, we believe this home is well worth it. Bill Clinton, $1.7 million, Chappaqua. If you want to live the lifestyle of Bill Clinton, you need to have at least a $120 million pocketbook. Through his deft political maneuvering, the former president amassed a sizable wealth. With so much wealth to play with, he can pretty much acquire anything he wants. But he chose this $1.7 million Dutch colonial-style splendor. The high-fenced, 1.1-acre home may seem small from the outside, but Chappaqua is one of Forbes' most expensive communities. Thus, Bill's mansion is no exception, with 5 gorgeous bedrooms, a large pool, and a parking lot. Along with political chaos, the politician added a barn for home-based protection. We can understand why this hidden treasure is such a wonderful location to unwind. Ted Cruz, Houston, $1.6 million. Despite being one of the most well-known Republican lawmakers, Ted Cruz has managed to keep his personal life hidden from prying eyes. The lawyer and solicitor have a residence in Houston, the specifics of which are unknown. All we know is that he paid $1.6 million to get the old-fashioned River Oaks property registered in his name. It's reasonable to assume he lives like a king within those fortified walls, and if he decides to take us around, we'll have more information. Until then, it'll remain a mystery, exactly as Cruz desires. Joe Kennedy III, Massachusetts, $1 million. The Kennedy family of the United States of America has a lot to be proud of. For a long time, the family's been involved in U.S. politics. In addition to his active political background, John P. Kennedy III currently oversees the service. The Kennedy compound is in the state of Massachusetts. The family home is on 6 acres of sea-facing land. There are 3 residences on the site. The most important was given to the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate. Ron Howard, Connecticut, $27.5 million. Ron Howard's ideal life is to go from a kid actor to one of the most known film directors. In the process, he's amassed a net worth of over $160 million. It's no wonder that he lives big. Imagine a 32-acre plot of property with a residence on over 17,000 square feet and a stunning view of Converse Lake. This was his Connecticut estate. He just advertised the house for $27.5 million, but not before taking advantage of its 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, an indoor pool, a theater, and even a billiard room. Nancy Pelosi, San Francisco, undisclosed price. When it comes to the most important persons in American politics, you won't have to go far before mentioning Nancy Pelosi's name. Furthermore, her recent selection as a United States Speaker of the House of Representatives have now elevated her to the status of historic policymaker. You can also see that with a background like hers, having a beautiful home isn't out of the question. For security considerations, the specific features and value of her long-term residence in San Francisco have not been made public too far. However, we assume that if Nancy and her 5 children and hubby can live there comfortably, the house must be pretty wonderful. Elijah Cummings, Maryland, undisclosed. Elijah Cummings was a well-known politician who was recognized for fighting for the rights of the people he served, as well as the whole nation. Cummings kept details of his private life quiet throughout his illustrious tenure in public service. Therefore, there isn't much information on his residence in Baltimore, Maryland. Despite his $1.3 million fortune, the civil rights activist lived a humble existence until his tragic death in 2019. Even so, we're sure Cummings filled his house with all the luxuries he could afford, making sure he was as comfortable as possible when he returned home following a hard day at the office. Susan Rice, Washington, undisclosed price. Susan Rice is a well-known politician in the United States, having worked in government for almost 2 decades. We can only wonder how she managed to keep her private life hidden as the former National Security Advisor. It's most likely a strategy she learned in the profession, since little information about her Washington house is now accessible. What we do know is that this is where she liked to relax, and judging by the beautiful flora around the property, it's a great place to get some fresh air away from all the commotion. Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan, undisclosed price. Gretchen Whitmer, the current governor of Michigan, is a political heavyweight in America. As such, she's entitled to live at the governor's official mansion. It's the ideal summer home with its white outside paint reflecting sunshine and being surrounded by big trees. The front yard, which has enough parking, can be turned into a badminton court for her children, who can also enjoy some greenery in the garden room. The 8,000 square foot estate was recently fenced to increase protection for the state's #1. George W. Bush, Texas, undisclosed. George Bush enjoyed considerable security as the 43rd president of a strong country. A parade of staff, great salary, and the White House came with the prominent post. He must have had a great time perking over such luxuries. Despite the many protections, Bush spends most of his time at his Texas getaway. The former president's 1,600 square foot home, dubbed the Western White House, is quite stunning. The inside is all neutral hues with wraparound casements, pet pictures, a limestone fireplace, and furnishings created by Mrs. Bush. The outside aspect includes a pool covered by trees and a flowery grass that leads to a tree farm. Rest assured, this refuge is everything from inexpensive. John Lewis, Atlanta, undisclosed. It's simple to understand why John Lewis is often regarded as one of the most important leaders of his generation. The civil rights warrior was known for his altruism, tenacity, and bravery. He was constantly concerned with the welfare of his people. The former U.S. congressman was also a humble guy, and few knew where he went to unwind after a hard day at work. Lewis held most aspects of his life close to his chest, including his residence. The politician, who died in 2020, resided in Atlanta until his death, but little information is available regarding the actual location or the facilities he enjoyed. Andrew Cuomo, New York, $1.8 million. Andrew Cuomo was a notable politician who served in numerous public office roles, including serving in the Bill Clinton administration before becoming the governor of New York in 2011. He amassed a fortune as an outstanding lawyer and politician, allowing him to reside in this comfortable New York house. Cuomo's house, dubbed the Lily Pond, is suited for a powerful politician with 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and a big living area. There's also a pond, a stream, and a gazebo, all set in a spacious, well-kept garden. Despite the regal facilities, the attorney agreed to sell the house for a tempting $1.8 million. Ben Carson, Virginia, $1.2 million. When someone has over $30 million in their bank account, it's not shocking if they spend part of it on real estate. Former United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson, is no stranger to owning majestic houses, and he just added this stunning property in Virginia to his outstanding collection. The physician and his wife spent $1.2 million on the property, and based on the features, it's well worth it. The house has 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, a gourmet kitchen with granite countertops, and a slew of cutting-edge gadgets. Aside from that, the Carsons have access to an entertainment area where they can play billiards or watch a movie. Madeline Albright, California, $13 million. The key to Madeline Albright's professional success was her unwavering determination to pursue her calling. The late diplomat defied expectations by becoming the first female Secretary of State in U.S. history. Her ambition to put women's power on the map was wonderful, as was her $67 million bank account. Albright made certain that her resume was credible in anything she accomplished. Albright's several properties were not acquired by chance. She worked hard for them. Her 9,500 square foot California estate, valued at an incredible $13 million, was the height of that opulence. That exorbitant price tag is rewarded with first-rate amenities, including 9 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms, as well as a tennis court and fitness area. Andrew Yang, Manhattan, estimated rental fee of $3,880 to $4,880. Andrew Yang will always speak his thoughts. While he began his 2020 presidential campaign behind more renowned names, his unorthodox approach to addressing socioeconomic imbalances propelled him to the top of the packed bench. Behind the scenes, a guy like him must have a considerably more intriguing existence. Hell's Kitchen is a unique location. Mr. Yang, the 2020 presidential contender, is one of its well-known locals. His opulent, 2-story Manhattan home has a view of the Hudson River and includes a parking garage, swimming pool, and a roof deck. A condominium at River Place costs between $3,880 and $4,880 per month in rent. Donald Trump, Mar-a-Lago, $10 million. According to Donald Trump's mentality, if you want to be in the game, you gotta think big. Nothing could be more intimidating than having a $3 billion wealth at your disposal. It goes without saying that despite his self-deprecating humor, Trump is a respected businessman who's always looking for the best deal. Trump's favorite getaway is his $5 million Palm Beach mansion, which was constructed in 1927 by heiress Marjorie Merriweather. The opulent mansion covers 17 acres and has a whopping 128 rooms. He eventually converted this home into a private club, complete with a $7 million gold-plated 20,000 square foot ballroom. Despite its beauty, this utopia is a maintenance nightmare that costs millions of dollars.